spotlight on startups, and I know that's a favorite topic here at the conference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out and let them all introduce themselves. So Hadi, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Tell everybody all about you.
Everybody is a VIP. I am a VOP, very ordinary person. So I born in 1953, but my father put it in the passport 1955, decreased my age by 2 years, because in the old days when you go on a study, you get students fair. So he wanted to extend 2 years. So I have 6 children, 3 boys, 3 girls, all married, and they brought me 15 grandchildren, all of them with me in the business. But the most important things, I believe in a succession plan in life. So I learned something from my father learned something from his grandfather, and so on. My children know better than me, my grandchildren better than their mother and father, and life go on. So with Anthony, we've been in this business for almost 10 years, and as Irhan said, we believe in networking and to create work. A lot of people kill themselves working, bring a product or a service. At the end of the day, they don't have a network to sell what they produce. Is that enough, Wendy?
That is good. Thank you. Rosemary?
I'm Rosemary.
Still Hadi's.
Is that working? Yes.
There you
go. Good. Yeah, so I'm Rosemary Sagar, and based in Miami, manage a single family office. My background has always been in investing. I spent 20 years on the institutional side, and now the last 20 plus years is on the family office side, investing into alternatives. And our family holding company is in India, and the underlying firm is an intellectual property law firm from 1827. And I've been investing the cash flow into alternative investments for 21 years now.
Hello, hi, good morning, everybody. Yes, it's Carmine Volani. I'm running a $27 billion multifamily office, mainly half of it from Gulf and other ones from US, with a little presence from LATAM and Europe. We are focusing significantly on the vision, which is not just vision of 2030 in Saudi, it's really global vision. And so throughout, we focus historically from cash flow, assets, growth, and obviously from real estate to technology, today big in AI. And that's it.
Alejandro?
Hi. My name is Alejandro Rojas. I work for a family office, Lebanese Canadian. We operate offices in between Middle East and Europe. We are an active single family office investing in mainly in technology, and we have more than 60 companies where we have between 2% up to 70% ownerships. And very happy to be here, and thank you, Your Highness, to have us here.
Mark?
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Flor. I run together with my wife, Janine, who's here with me today, our family office, Mingenta. We are based in Uruguay, Switzerland, and from August on in Dubai. We are a very boring family office with a focus on things like land banking and real estate. And it's a little bit Anthony's fault that we started to invest in startups a little bit more over the last 1.5 years because of all the nice companies we met during the events here. So thank you, Anthony, for opening this path for us.
Katerina?
Hi, everyone. I'm Katrina Victoria Gumaya from Singapore and the Philippines. I've been in investments for 24 years. I run a single family office out of Singapore. We are essentially sector agnostic aside from deploying capital in different companies around the world. We also facilitate deliveries of oil and gold around the world. We're currently invested in 27 countries across 5 continents. Thank you.
Ole?
My name is Ole. I'm from Norway. And thank you, Anthony, for having me here today. It's a pleasure. I'm a farmer, and I run a single office out of Norway. So we invest in startups or in people, like I used to say. Yeah, that's me.
Well, I'm picking on you after that comment. So you're a farmer? What do you farm?
We grow everything from cucumbers, tomatoes, herbs, and we have a goat farm.
Nice.
Produce meat.
All right, back to the startups. I just want to know. So startups weren't as much of a thing 10, 15 years ago, and now they've kind of come into their own. So I want to ask my panelists, I'm sure you see hundreds, if not thousands of them a year. What are you looking for when you look at a startup? Rosemary?
To sum it up in one sentence, I look for unique solutions to massive problems. Because I learned early on, never be a solution in search of a problem. It never works. And build it and they will come. So I'd say that's the first cut.
Katrina, same question?
When I look at startups, even before I consider unit economics, I believe that a lot of my success in the startups I invested was because I do not underwrite numbers first. I want to underwrite human behavior first. So when I speak with startup founders, I have this checklist of everything from body language to very detailed. Who are the people who worked with you before, who have left? And I want to be able to, like the founders a while ago who were pitching here, I was looking at how they speak. Is this founder capable of hiring people smarter than him or better than him? Because for me, talent density is very rare. A lot of startups fail because there is now a lack of incoming talent. So if the founder is the smartest person in the room, that is a red flag for me. And in terms of founder quality, I've always mentioned this to my fellow investors. I look at things related to character because I've always been a believer. We've seen it in a lot of unicorns. Founders cannot rise above the limitations of their character. That's going to be such a tall order. So when if there are certain limitations in your character that manifest early on, no matter how smart you are, what pedigree you have, what Ivy League school you came from, or who backed you early on, no matter how good your cap table is, I'm out.
Fair enough. Mark, you said this was all Anthony's fault, so do tell.
That was a compliment, actually. I have to say it resonates very much what you say. I think if you look at a startup, first of all, I like simple solutions for everyday problems. If it gets too complex, too difficult to understand, we're somehow out. And the next step is really the founder, which is more the specialty of my wife to analyze this. But it's true. Often people are already at the limit of what they allow themselves to reach. And no matter how good the idea is, they will probably reach nowhere. Probably everybody has seen this. There are some people who are serious and serial founders. They have an idea, they have a startup, they scale it, they sell it, they do it again and again. And there are others who have much better ideas, much better teams, much better funding, and still they fail. And that usually lies in the quality of the person. And to understand this and to see how you can help someone to grow beyond themselves is one of the parts where we like to get engaged. In general, we like to bring more to the table than a check. The idea is that we can help with the growth of a person, that we can help with our network, our infrastructure, and usually then take as well active roles in the company to go on the journey together.
Fair enough. Alejandro?
So the recipe that we have followed and it has been successful is first, we invest in a very niche market with a top solution in that specific niche market. Secondly, we really look also at the team. This is the most important. People in startups are everything. And also we are super hands-on. We are helping a lot those companies in a nice way. I mean, we enter and we put money and we say, well, how can we scale this very fast? How can we support you guys? And it's beautiful because we become kind of co-founder with them and we grow the company together. But it's very, very important to invest in niche market more and more. Actually, the beautiful exit we have had the last 5 years, we sold companies to Santander, to the bank. We sold companies to Thales, the defense company in France, because those companies were performing very well in that specific market, niche market. If you want to cover big market or big solutions, not more and more with Anthropic and all these big tech guys, that they can wipe out completely the technology with one solution.
Ole?
Definitely the founder. 100% of the decision is made by the founder, because if I have lost the money all the time, is because the founder is not strong enough. So 100% on the founder, and I personally like to invest my own money first, and then track the information, support the founder, and when I see that he is actually delivering, I invest more. That's so easy, actually.
Fair enough. Lord Carmine?
Well, my panelists are much smarter than me. So they come earlier than we do. Because we historically invest in infrastructure, oil and gas, renewable, cash flow items, we've been value investing. So we came from a value investment looking at last year free cash flow, not to future revenues. Obviously, there's 75,000 AI companies. And so how are we going to, 99% of them will fail, unfortunately, and 8,000 are quantum companies. So how are we going to position ourselves in that space? We have capital to deploy, but it's similar to what Mark said, but the point that we first need to determine the customers they have. So when we look at a company, we look at, first of all, okay, what is your references? Who are your clients? Do you have epic clients, repetitive clients? Second, even if you don't, it's not necessarily off. But then we come in with some of the other co-investors, which typically, for example, we invest in this company called Beyond AI, NASA spin-off. And our references was that BP, British Petroleum, spent $1 billion with IBM for machine learning, failed. Spent $1.2 billion with Palantir, LLM, failed. And we invested in a company called Sandbox, which is a LQM. But they use neurosymbolic AI, which, what does that mean? The way the brain works. Because NASA cannot afford to say, I'm going to send Rosemary, maybe he goes to the moon, maybe he goes to Mars. Maybe he comes back on Earth, maybe he doesn't. It has to be deterministic AI, not probabilistic. Like most of the AI today are numerical AI, Anthropic, Palantir, OpenAI, and so forth. And still, next step was, who are the other shareholders? And most important, who are the clients? Aramco, G42, BP, Shell. In that case, we typically invest alongside Aramco Ventures. So we ask Aramco Ventures, can you validate this company? If they validate and they're willing to do the proof of concept or the proof of value, money is the easiest thing to invest because you know that there's going to be a growth and you help the companies to grow significantly. So it's very important. You don't just give capital to a company and say, well, let's see what you're going to do with it. It's the other way around. How can I help to validate and strengthen your solution like we do today in our portfolio companies? We have to find synergy between portfolio companies across the globe. So imagine we already invest in a company. Can we take you to Asia? Can we take you to Latin America? Can we take you into the Gulf? Of course, in US. And the government contracts. So if we can help you, obviously we must be shareholders as well because you participate in the growth. So it's really a very entrepreneurial approach to investing. It's not just deploying capital and you hire people and so forth.
Thank you. Hadi, I'm going to pick on you because you showed up with a G-Wagon and you were just on stage. So I want to know specifically, what was it about that opportunity that said to you, yeah, I think I want to put some money into this?
She kept me at the end. I'm very hungry. and poorly, and my partner, Dr. Iraj, is treating me. So I'm very hungry now. So anyway, to do something like this investment, I have 4 principles. First, we look at the place where we will invest. Who is the team behind it? Their experience, their profile, track record, how many IPO. So that's very important for us to go in. And the second important thing, will this investment will add value to human being? We just not look at how much money we make. Are we enhancing people's life? So these 2 criteria. The other thing, I believe in life that you plan your work and work your plan. And the third thing is no access, no success. If I'm trying to get access to Wendy, I can't get her by phone, by WhatsApp, by email.
I never answer.
So how can we have a successful business? And the last but not least, now everybody looking at me, none of you can see what is behind. And the same with me, I cannot see what is behind. So the two-way communication in life is very important. So I can tell you what is behind you, tell me what is behind, and then we have a better life and better communication. So if Wendy is my boss looking at me, I tell her, you recruited me as a sales manager. That's what people like, color they like. She said, no, we love only black and you go with the black. At the end of the day, she said, you are not selling. I said, because you don't listen to me. I see things you don't see, but you are the boss. We will just bring it black. And at the end of the day, we cannot sell it. So the two-way communication in life is very important. Thank you.
Fair enough. And very well said. So in no particular order, if you want to address this, pick up a mic and address it. What are the red flags you see that will make you go, yep, no, I'm out? Go ahead, be brave. All right, I'll call on you. Katrina?
Well, like what I mentioned a while back, when I speak with founders, and not only because I come in at the very early stage, I would always ask them, if you're not able to raise capital, what's the plan B? And you'd be surprised of what their answers are. And from what I see, because a lot of successful companies did not start with the intention of what they wanted to build. Like YouTube was a dating website, Spotify would sell skateboards. So I want to look at founders who would, because obsession for me is, it's a double-edged sword. But you also have to know that there's things that, it's hard when you don't know what you don't know as a founder. So I would ask them, whose advice do you listen to? Who are the people around you? And like what I mentioned a while back, because I'm exposed in so many companies, and when they tell me, who's your competition? And they tell me I don't have competition, I'm the first in what I'm doing. Like when I hear that, it kind of gives me that notion that there is a lot of self-limiting beliefs there that might also be a problem moving forward. And another red flag that I look into is because a lot of founders are so obsessed with having the best pitch deck for investors. They always want to be investor ready, but how due diligence ready are you? I want founders who are DD ready, because the moment I invest capital in you, okay, you've bootstrapped, let's say, X amount of dollars. Where did that go? Do you have like a paper trail of that? Your early investors are like family and friends. How do you get back to them? And I want to be able to know where those early capital went. And at the same time, being DD ready doesn't only mean like a very clean data room. Being DD ready means if I ask the founders who left, or your co-founders or your other employees who left, will they say good things about you? Or your early investors in your former startup or then exit. I want to be able to know those things as an investor, because there's so much hidden valuation there for an investor like myself.
Fair enough. Anybody else got a red flag? Rosemary?
Well, I think the qualitative is really as important as the quantitative, and you need that passion, you need the fire in the belly, you need the founder to be prepared to make any sacrifice and not accept failure as an option. And so you need that builder mentality and, builder capitalism, I think, as a contrast to venture investing, which is more hands-off and less involved and whatever. I think that's a very important distinction to make. And so I mean, some of the more successful companies that I'm backing are those where the team has been together before and everybody is working for options and for stock. Nobody's taking a salary. And, failure is just not an option. And then I've, early when I was still gaining experience, I ended up with somebody who had a very successful career as an employee and then became an entrepreneur, but was still used to the good life. Is I want a salary. How can I live on this sort of thing? And that's never going to work. So.
Fair enough.
I mean, I want to include something that I know that there's some family offices that they do. Usually they invest in funds. Us, for example, we invest a lot in direct investment. And yes, we are learning from our mistakes. And one of the red flags is usually when you do direct investment, you don't do a proper due diligence or the technology or the team. So the advice here is really, if you guys want to go direct and invest in a company, spend time, spend money on the proper due diligence so you don't have any surprise after. And secondly, it's also very important to have a very clear their strategy and the exit strategy. If they don't have it clear, it's also a red flag. But the invitation here is you guys that you start doing direct investment is go deep, is spend some money in a proper due diligence on the guys, on the technology, and because it can become a headache after.
Fair enough.
I mean, for me personally, money is never the goal. The goal is always a project, a vision to create something. Money is then eventually the consequence out of this. And if I see in a founder that the main motivation is getting rich with an idea, it's a total red flag. We like to work with founders who burn for their idea, who have a big vision, much bigger than themselves, much bigger than it sounds reasonable in the moment that you sit together, because this is something you can work on together. And if that then moves forward, they will be financially successful as well. But as soon as this becomes the major goal of something, it usually fails sooner or later, or even the money that is earned doesn't stay. It's a personal experience, but it's basis for our decisions.
Ole?
Basically, as Katrina was saying, it's music from my ears. When you say companies, you say, we have no competition, we're the best. We look at the long term. So we don't look at exit flipping companies or taking a public. We are not a fund. So we can invest for 20, 30 years. And most likely, when we invest in company, we end up buying it. In other words, we put it into a portfolio company and become the exit ourselves. But because of that, it's so important, the references. The red flag is you have clients or not. And as I stated before, and there are any universities in the world that have thousands and thousands of IP or development. Aramco has got 30,000 IP. I haven't sold one outside. And some of them, which through Aramco Digital now is going to plan to go public in 5 years or multi-trillion dollars, they're transferring a lot of this. They can actually identify, they extract from the well 30% more efficiency. I have not sold it to one single outside oil and gas company. So the point is, and they have a lot of means, okay? So the key is, what distinguishes you from the market? It's really not because of your idea, from idea phase to prototype, there is a sea of problems. But from a prototype to the industrialization and commercialization, there's an ocean of problems that can take place. So all of these things that we can help you guide, but it has to be really, you need to then going through the phase of really taking to market. And that is extremely important. Otherwise, it's like you're making a movie and there's no distribution. You watch it for yourself for Christmas with your family. You know, there's no...
Okay, so I like to find the people that are thinking outside the box, comes with ideas that are not in the market, the smart people, and also the other people are saying here, you know, the plan of raising the money, because I see that's That's the hardest one for most of them. Most of the founders, when they come, of course, they have a good plan or have a good idea, but there is many of the times really hard for them to actually raise the money to fulfill the plan or the idea.
Hadi, do you want to comment on red flags that you see in deals you're looking at? You want to comment on red flags you see when you look at certain deals that make you go, yeah, no?
Well, red flag, I like to turn it to green flag. Okay?
Got you.
So to deal with nature, to deal with the humanity, and the best way for people is to have something which is to listen to others. That's why God give us 2 ears, you know? I find people, they just talk and talk and talk, but they don't listen. And if I sit with my children, I tell one of them, you have to do this, and then he is not here, he either in the future or past. And then he said, Dad, what did you say? I said, then I will not give you this assignment. I give it to your sister because she listened to everything I say. So in life, everything has got red and green, but you just be in the positive way. Don't think in the negative way. And always talk about solution. Don't talk about problems. Thank you.
Fair enough. How many people in the audience are founders, entrepreneurs from startup to venture stage? Oh, good. Ole, start with you. Give them a piece of advice. If they're going to approach you, what do you want to hear? What's a good thing to say?
Oh, there's a lot of things. I mean, first of all, I mean, you have to know what you're getting into, and for sure, it's going to cost more money. It's going to take you a longer time, so you have to be, willing to go all the way. And that's, like I said in the beginning, for me, it's all about the people behind the idea, and be good at networking. Use your network, see if you have friends that can help you to drive this forward, and just stay in it.
Fair enough. Katrina?
Asking the right questions is one of the most underrated skills for a lot of founders. And when you talk to investors like us, you have to remember that you also have the right to do DD on us. What happened to the companies we invested in? Are we predatory investors? You have to be able to know, because usually when you're at this stage and people show you money, you just accept immediately. I've seen a lot of founders, even before Series A, their cap table is already messy because of the many investors they took in. So at this stage, you have to understand, are you going to do safe notes? Are you going to do convertible note? Are you going to do venture debt? Are you going to do what at the onset? How will you even raise capital? Because if you don't know these things early on, it's gonna make or break your company when institutional money comes in. Like, I've met so many VCs where they don't invest simply because there's something wrong with the cap table, or because, like what I told you also have to do DD on your investors. Do not accept every dollar that comes your way. If it's only money they can offer, walk away. I told you, a lot of investors are so poor, all they have is money. If there is no alignment in values, walk away. If there is no alignment in what you want to do and they only have money, walk away. It is okay to walk away, because sometimes your early investors could also make or break your startup. And do right by people. Whether it's your competitors, your employees, your co-founders, a lot of startups fail because of founder divorce. And at the same time, the people you work with, there will be conflicts, there are going to be disagreements, but do right by people. You have to be intrinsically a good person, a decent, morally, ethically okay person, at least, And because that's going to matter when you talk to institutional money.
Fair enough. Mark?
I think there's 2 things I would like to say. One is for a founder to stay always passionate and true to the vision that you have, no matter how big it is. But at the same time, stay open to advice, because no growth, no path is linear. Even the greatest idea might get modified on the way, gets even better maybe through input from the outside. So always stay open for others and to learn from them. The other thing is we saw amazing companies failing because founders were specialists in their specific field, but missed the point where they needed to let other specialists come into their company to grow further. A medtech company with scientists at a certain point will need professional marketing, professional business development manager, professional CFO. Many companies, many founders hold too long on the last percent not to open themselves up for this kind of growth.
I want to enhance the message that I said before, and this is what Katrina said, very, 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 very safe is, please, you guys that you're investing in companies and you investors that are looking for entrepreneurs that you're looking for investors, the word is really dig and do the proper due diligence, both sides. First, for the entrepreneurs, the investors are going to be your partners in the whole journey. It's very easy to write a check. It's very easy to sign papers. If things go wrong, watch out. Do the proper due diligence on the people that are investing with you guys. Secondly, target properly, so you are not speaking with the wrong investors. For example, in our case, we don't invest in health tech. We don't invest in biotech. If you approach me with a pitch of biotech, it's going to be a waste of time for both of us. But besides that, you're going to start saying, I'm not converting all the contacts or whatsoever. So it's very important to target properly who's investing in what, so that makes that the pitch is more successful. But basically, that's it.
Yes, along the same line that Katrina mentioned, it's very important. First of all, do not give a sense of desperation, that you're desperate, you need money to pay your bills. You invest in your life in this. It's so important who's going to be your partner. It's like you get married, who you married to. And you should properly, like my colleagues have stated, what can your partner contribute to you besides money? Money, you have so many people that just pump and dump. The key is so critical. How can your partner can help to grow the company alongside? So it's kind of like you interviewing a partner to enter in your family, in your life. We are family, multifamily office, so it's families to families. We're not a fund. We're not invest other people's money. We don't charge fees, okay? Which is exactly the misalignment. I make money anyway, you're losing money. And similarly, you're investing your life, effort, family, you work hard, you probably mortgage your own homes. So it's so critical that the partner is going to be helping you to grow, like I mentioned before, in the market, or vertical integration to other, supply chain. It can really add 1 + 1 = 11. It's so important.
Fair enough. Rosemary?
The most common source of failure in a startup is probably going to be lack of capital. And the most successful entrepreneurs and builders are going to be those who are capable of pivoting along the way. So up front, you need to think through these different scenarios, because what it can be a common problem is you've got a great idea for a disruptive product, and along the way you realize that the customers don't have the capital to buy that product, and you need to place it for free and make your money on the razor blades, so to speak, on the consumables. But suddenly you need 100 times more capital to build the inventory to place these machines for free. So that has to be thought through from the start, that could be a scenario, because then what happens is the new capital you need is going to probably require the early investors to get crammed down, and of course those are the investors that have supported you from nothing. So then you're in a quandary, and that can create a lot of problems.
Hadi, take us home. Piece of advice for all our founders?
Well, I found a lot of people in this life, they kill themselves for making money at the cost of their health to build a wealth. But at the end of the day, I find other people who make the money work for them. And to do that, you have to have patience. And if you look at God, He created the universe, we say, in 7 days. But He could say, be, and it will be. And the same thing when I was a child. The first thing I did, I crawl, then I stand, then I walk, then I run. I cannot straight go and run. So in life, you have to have patience, and failure sometimes teach you a lot of things. Don't give up. And thank you.
Can I get a round of applause for my panel? And Anthony, thank you so much.